So I've seen this happen so many times. I think I've spoken about it before, but it's happened recently again a lot of times. So I decided, why not talk about it again? So recently, the experience a member had was the guy, he actually got matched with this lady, and he saw, and his was just very valid, honestly, because assumptions most of the time they're actually valid. He saw her WhatsApp DP, and it was a picture of her and a guy getting married, like an actual wedding. So he was like, this lady's married, I don't know what she's doing on the dating platform. So well, he told us. So imagine the situations where the person doesn't even contact you or tell you and just assumes. So he actually told us, and then we had to confront her, and we're like, what's going on? Are you actually married? And she was like, oh no, I'm a twin. And that was her twin sister getting married. It didn't even click to us, being a Taiwan candy, we already know that, but somehow it just didn't click. So that was her twin getting married, but he assumed, that it was her. I mean, it's a very understandable situation, but some people would have just assumed and just let it go. Luckily for him, for us too, he actually contacted us and was like, oh, I think she's married. And so we could look into it and we could say, oh, okay, there was a mix-up there. That assumption was wrong, And there was also another assumption by a lady, and she saw the guy's display picture, and it had him and a couple of kids, and his status just had him and different kids, and she assumed they were his kids. So she sent a message saying, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know you had kids. That should have been mentioned because I didn't want to be matched with someone that had kids. So she went up front to just tell him that. And he was like, no, those are not my kids. Those are my sister's kids. But it's good to know that you didn't want to match with someone that doesn't have kids. And that was a turn off for him for some reason. He felt like, I want someone that even if I had kids, they're okay with it. So or maybe he just didn't, wasn't feeling it anyway. Another assumption, this happened on the page. There was a post that was made up, and the guy commented on it. We made a comment on it, and a lady quickly went and said, oh, you're married. So what are you saying about you want to meet someone and everything? And he was like, no, I'm not married. And we were like, how do you know I'm married? Or, what makes you think I'm married? And she was like, oh, she went to his page and she saw him with a kid. And he was like, my daughter, my life. And he was like, yes, I would never deny having a kid. I'm a single father. It doesn't mean I'm married because I have a kid. And she was like, oh, sorry, because he had a kid. She just assumed he was married, even without seeing any female's picture and everything. And by then, people had already made comments on this same post. So people had made comments, saying, you're married, why would you be on here? Because they saw her comments and assumed that it was, the truth. And they're like, why would you come on this platform if you're married, this and this. So they already made a lot of comments without verifying, and he actually wasn't married. He actually is a single father. So a lot of assumptions can be made from certain situations, obviously display pictures or comments or certain things. And I think you should always clarify assumptions. Don't just assume and just feel like, do you know what, I'm not interested, and just let it go. I think you should at least clarify the assumptions.